Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of United Talks podcast. Yeah, we've been having some technical challenges and technical difficulties with setting up the stream and all of that. You know, it's not something we've done all the time, but yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. A whole lot's been going on, and then we just want to bring you Manchester United news, and it looks like this is something we're going to be doing consistently now, bringing you Man United news as they come, you know, just kind of, you know, breaking it to you and breaking it down to you and analyzing which one is a rumor, which one is which one is the main news and all of that. And today, with regards to the Manchester United news, we're going to be talking about, Stephen Torpey. We're going to be talking about Marcus Rashford and Barcelona. We're also be talking about Casemiro and Sancho exit rumors. We're also going to be talking about Bremer and Baleba as they are linked to United. We're talking about Dabo close to signing. We'll also talk about the updates on injuries from Lisandro Martínez and Diogo Dalot, and we'll also talk about Amorim, Bruno's 100 goals milestone for Manchester United, and then we'll talk about Amorim being under pressure. I mean, again, the pressure never ceases because every time you talk about Amorim, he's synonymous to pressure. And then we'll talk about the Brentford clash ahead, just to give you a bit of a synopsis and all of that with the news surrounding the Brentford clash. And then we'll also talk about a certain manager. I think that's where our thumbnail comes from. A certain manager who is actually interested in the Manchester United job. And we will break it down and, tell you everything as they go. But it's pretty interesting to see, some of the news that we've been talking about, some of the news that we've been, analyzing and breaking down and everything. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. I mean, if you haven't already, as I said at the beginning, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. Now, here are the top Manchester United news and stories as of today. I mean, as of time of recording. First and foremost is the new academy appointment. Manchester United have appointed Stephen Torpey. I think this is old news, but we had the rumor a couple weeks ago as the new head of the club's academy. I think we had the former head of the club's academy leaving Manchester United to join Everton, I think. So there is a whole lot that is around that and everything. And then obviously as of today, it has been announced that, just to talk about the news, Manchester United have announced the signing of, just give me a second. So it has been announced that Manchester United have confirmed the appointment of Stephen Torpey as the head of academy. It was revealed that Torpey was being considered to succeed Nick Cox, who went to Everton, right? And the club have now officially unveiled the appointment. We could talk on and on about some of these things and everything, but Torpey said that it is obviously a great time to be joining as the club enters an exciting new era, and I can't wait to play my role in continuing the incredible transition of youth development here. United statement said Stephen Torpey has started work at Manchester United as Manchester United's new academy director. Joining from Brentford, Stephen's appointment as successor to Nick Cox was announced in August, but Cox has joined Everton, and where he will serve as technical director as well. Torpey has recently led the rebuilding of Brentford's youth structure, including the relaunch of a full academy program for the under-9s to under-18s, prior to his January 2024 arrival at the West London club. He had led academy coaching across groups in Manchester City. So we seem to be poaching Manchester City's people that have left Manchester City and basically at the foundation phase with Liverpool. So could this be a new signing? Could this be a new, like, because we're moving into a new era, could this be something that Manchester United will be looking to, basically take to the next level? So Stephen Torpey has been announced, and that is done. The next news we have on our list here is basically we're going to touch on some transfer rumors. We're going to go through some of them, the ones that we see that are currently available online. Now, one of the transfer rumors is, according to the Daily Express, that United are reportedly close to signing teenage Senegalese wonder kid Mouhamed Dabo. And we're going to talk about it. This is according to the Daily Express. Man United are very close. Man United are very close to signing. So Manchester United are reportedly close to signing Senegalese starlet Mouhamed Dabo, as their academy recruitment continues to be scaled upwards. Dabo captained the Senegal under-17 team and is said to have won over the coaches at Old Trafford with his natural ability that they believe that they believe could lead him to have an impact on the first team. United have also advanced their recruitment of young players since Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos joined the club. Basically, since they took over, we signed, since Ineos had taken over, we signed Aiden Heaven, we signed Diego Leon, we signed Chido Obi, and we signed Sekou Kone, with a long-term view in mind. Obviously, everybody's expecting that will happen, and then we will observe as they go. Dabo looks set to become the next player on the Carrington conveyor belt, with Africa Foot claiming that he is on the verge of signing a deal at United, having been on trial at Manchester United for several weeks, where he has been taking part in training sessions with youth teams. He has had an immediate impact, with coaches giving positive feedback. They have been impressed with not just his raw talent and maturity, but the complete nature of his game, which is said to include clean tackling, vision, composure, ball control, leadership, tirelessness, work ethic, tireless work, progressive passing, and pace control. So these are the things that are looking at. The president of B Sport Academy is currently in England to finalize terms on a transfer. Dabo also attracted interest from Barcelona and he did complete a month-long internship at the famed La Masia Academy, and Barcelona didn't complete the move. However, United are now in pole position and are expected to complete the signing sooner rather than later. Dabo is considered a holding midfielder, not dissimilar to Kone, who arrived from the Guildas FC in Mali before completing a move to United last year. So Spanish outlet Sport also claims that Barcelona wanted to sign Dabo in March, but as he was under the age of 18, FIFA regulations prevented an immediate transfer. They sought to secure the verbal agreement with his representatives, as United did with Paraguayan full-back Leon before he officially joined the club, but no such deal was made. So United have seen several academic graduates leave the club recently, with Alejandro Garnacho joining Chelsea, Marcus Rashford heading to Barcelona on loan, but bringing players into the setup appears to be the key focus. The club recently confirmed the appointment of Stephen Torpey, as I just said, as head coach of the academy, joining from Brentford, and it's obviously a great time to be joining as the club enters an exciting new era. And Torpey said that I can't wait to play my role in continuing the incredible tradition of youth development here. So pretty much straightforward for that one. I've seen a lot. I've seen Christopher Vivell involved in this and what he had to say about this whole Dabo situation and all of that. We can go on and on breaking it, but as we go, I'll probably do like a player review, a player profile for this, and then we shall see and begin to basically build, as the case may be, with the player profile, with everything that relates to that. And also, Man United have secured the signing of, or are about to secure, on the verge of securing the signing of this Senegalese wonder kid Mouhamed Dabo. what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this? Is it one for the future? I haven't watched him. I'm going to do a deeper dive, as we always do, as with the culture of the club of this channel. Do a deeper dive and break down some of these things that we see, and kind of tell you what we can make of it and all. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section as we build towards the next thing. And don't forget to subscribe, like and subscribe, share, subscribe, and notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. Another thing we're going to talk about is basically the speculation around the future of Marcus Rashford, who is on loan at Barcelona. There was reports that Barcelona were willing to take Marcus Rashford on a cut price, £25 million. Meanwhile, there's a deal in place for Marcus Rashford to go to Barcelona at 40 million, I think, but they were trying to take him at a cut price of £25 million. Barcelona are trying to secure his deal. I mean, we all are aware of the situation between Marcus Rashford and Manchester United, as well as Marcus Rashford and and Ruben Amorim and co. But what we can say for a fact is that Marcus Rashford is doing well at Barcelona. During the week, it was reported that he came late for training by 2 minutes, or for a meeting by 2 minutes before the game in the Champions League. But eventually, he was before the game in the Spanish La Liga, I think it's against Espanyol, and he was benched. But he came on and eventually created an assist for Dani Olmo, who scored. So what do you guys think about this whole speculation about Marcus Rashford? Because the guy seems like a really troubled player, with a whole lot. Now we're going to just talk about it. This is according to Manchester Evening News. Josh Holland reported this. Manchester United and Barcelona will wait until the end of the season to discuss a permanent move for Marcus Rashford, according to reports. After being excluded from Ruben Amorim's plan, Rashford moved to Spain on a season-long loan. Now, the 27-year-old has decided against other moves in favour of joining Hansi Flick's side after a short loan spell with Aston Villa. Since moving to Camp Nou, Rashford has scored 2 goals and assisted another one in 6 games. Last week he scored 2 impressive goals to beat Newcastle United in the Champions League. Now, according to Sky Sports, Barcelona are pleased with the England international progress and are very enthusiastic about his settling into the clubs and into the club and city. Also, the report also states that that no conversation about potential transfer have occurred yet. Earlier this week, it was suggested that there was a gap in valuation with United, but it is believed that that isn't the case. Rashford's current loan agreement includes an option for Barcelona to buy him for an agreed fee of around £26 million. I said 40, and maybe I'm confusing him with Garnacho, but £26 million. The forward's progress on and off the field and the club's financial situation will both be considered before the option is triggered. Also, another consideration is Robert Lewandowski's future. The 7-year-old contract in Spain expires at the end of the season, and Rashford's ability to play as a number 9 could be crucial in determining both players' future, right? As also speaking on his future, Rashford has already admitted that he wants to stay at the club. He says, "I'm learning a lot and it's a new style of football," he told TNT Sports, "but it's making me a better player. Honestly, it's an amazing experience." So Rashford and then he says, "I've always been a huge admirer of Barcelona. Every player my age has watched them play and it's amazing. It's amazing football." Asked about the length of his stay in Spain, he replied, "As many seasons as possible, we will see. I have to focus on trying to do my job and trying to help the team in whichever way I can." So that is Marcus Rashford on his Barcelona stay and all of that. We can talk on and on, but we all know the story. Ruben Amorim doesn't rate him, and obviously we could all see that some of the attitudes that he had at Man United, he carried it over. But the thing is, the media at one point will find a way to overblow this and make it even more difficult for Marcus Rashford to thrive. Even in Spain, the media are still talking. I mean, recently Paul Scholes talked about it. I mean, he was late for 2 minutes. I know that's lateness, but his attitude, his mentality needs to be in check, and he also needs to prove the doubters wrong. He's a good player. We all know he's a good player and all of that, but obviously the speculations continue, and £26 million, well, is still for Barcelona. And excuse me, we can go on and on talking about it, but let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. As we move on to the next one, United will be looking, this is more on transfer rumors. United may be looking to cut their losses on several high-profile, high-priced talents, including Casemiro and Jadon Sancho, to free up funds for new signing. So we heard rumors about this whole Jadon Sancho situation and Casemiro, especially for Casemiro. We heard that he is considering a move to Saudi. I've also heard recently that he's considering a move to where was he going? Brazil. Yeah, that was the one I heard, in Brazil. But for Sancho, honestly, I saw a video last week talking about Sancho being unhappy at Aston Villa already. I've watched him play some games and he's still not fit, like he's not match fit at all. I think Aston Villa have a Europa League game tomorrow, either Europa League or UEFA Conference League, but whatever the case. Sancho has not, pulled trees again. Ever since he came to England, he still hadn't pulled trees. So I don't know. It's a situation, and it looks like Man United have dodged the bullet with that one. It's a waste of funds, a waste of money, but we have to just kind of, we have to move on. So especially for Sancho's situation and all that. But yeah, they are looking to cut ties or cut their losses for Jadon Sancho, and also to free up funds for new signing for Casemiro as well. Casemiro's contract ends this season, I think, and I think from January he can start talking to other clubs. So we will see either this season, and I think he has an option of +1 or so. Maybe to protect his value, they might add one more year and then sell him off for something just to free up funds, especially in the wage bill situation. So that is basically all about the Jadon Sancho and freeing up deal for Casemiro. The next one on the transfer rumors segment is that there's reports that suggest that United are also interested in signing midfielder Carlos Baleba from Brighton and Juventus defender Gleison Bremer. We will see all of that, but before we go into that, let's talk about the injuries and then we'll break down that Baleba signing, because everybody have talked about Baleba. Baleba is all over the internet. Everybody wants him, but in truth, I think part of the concerns for Baleba is the fact that he has not performed well, and even Fabian Hutzler came out to say recently, I think after the game, that he knows that part of the reasons why Baleba hasn't performed really well is that he probably could have been turned away. I mean, his head could have been turned from due to the Manchester United links and stuff. So let's talk about the losses being cut. This is an exclusive report, according to which I don't believe, man. Like we'll see anyway. The Sun, Man United to cut their losses on 156 million worth of talent. You see the way the headline is: 156 million worth of talent to fund Carlos Baleba transfer, but Maguire to get new contract. The Maguire to get new contract, I can totally understand, because they want to protect his value, and then to eventually let him go. I think from January he can start talking to other. I mean, he has a +1 in his contract. Rather, this is last year, and he has a +1. Casemiro is set to lead the most high-profile Manchester United exodus in 4 years, but Harry Maguire's Old Trafford career could be prolonged. Brazilian Casemiro is out of contract at the end of the season, as I just said, with an option of an additional year, but United plan to spend big with new midfield on a new midfield enforcer amid interest in Carlos Baleba. So Casemiro, who turns 34 in February, is one of United's highest earners, on around £300,000 as reported, after arriving for 70 million from Real Madrid. I mean, who struck that deal? But it is what it is. However, he has struggled for domestic form since his outstanding first season in 22-23. This season he has really started well. In the games he's played really well and all of that. But while the midfielder looks like he's on his way out. United are expected to discuss the possibility of the renewal of Harry Maguire's contract, whose deal also expires at the end of the season. Manager Ruben Amorim ensured that United triggered the one-year option in the centre-half's deal in January, and the club rejected summer inquiries for the 32-year-old. So, Harry Maguire, I mean, I heard, obviously, that, and I read somewhere that they'll add +1 so that they can protect his deal. But moving on, Maguire, who became the most expensive defender in the world when he moved to United from Leicester for £80 million in 2019, is on £190,000 a week. Not so much of a big deal. United may attempt to keep Maguire, who turns 33 in March, on a reduced salary, 7 years on from his transfer. Pogba, Juan Mata, Nemanja Matic, Edinson Cavani, I don't know how this relates, left United in 2022. Pogba, Juan Mata, Nemanja Matic, Edinson Cavani, and Jesse Lingard all left United in 2022. So basically, United are also likely to finally cut ties with Sancho, currently on his season-long loan at Aston Villa. Sancho, who cost United some £3 million in 2022 summer, has not played a league match for the Red Devils in over 2 years, and has spent the final 2 years and 2.5 years of his contract of his years at the club out on loan, having also had spells at Borussia Dortmund and Chelsea. The 25-year-old has made two appearances for winless Villa in this campaign. Other things we can talk about with Casemiro's stats is that he has played 180 games. He started 109. He played some 4% of his games. Minutes played is 99,524. Average minutes per game 73. Goals, he scored 18. He assisted 11. He has 31 yellow cards, 4 red cards, and his win rate is 55%. So back to Sancho. Although United have a 1-year option on Sancho's contract, which I heard eventually that they were going to kind of renew it to protect the value and then eventually sell him if they get the chance to, and Villa to potentially want to buy him for around £20-25 million. His presence in preseason bomb squad and the underwhelming form since he returned to England 2021 makes it inevitable that he will be let go. And then Tyrell Malacia, the only bomb squad member, marooned at United after he failed to secure an exit, I think, to Turkey. The deal didn't go through, but he has been moved. I mean, he was signed for £13 million. It wasn't a big deal, unless the 26-year-old left back signed. I mean, he was signed for 13 million, but if he moves clubs in the winter transfer window, then he will be let go in the summer. Malacia was Ten Hag's first signing, but went 550 days without playing for Man United due to a knee problem that required 2 rounds of surgery, and he was substituted at halftime in 4 of his 5 starts for Ruben Amorim following his return last year. So we could talk about other things. Other rumors with regards to Man United players. Third choice goalkeeper Tom Heaton will be 40 when his contract runs out in 9 months, and he has already taken a coaching course. Heaton is also open to punditry, having contributed to BBC's coverage of England's European Championship qualifying thrashing of North Macedonia 2 years ago. So a whole lot of news with regards to Man United players and Sancho and the bomb squad and the likes. So we could go on and on talking about that. The next one on our list basically is, as we go, let me know your thoughts and feelings about these ones. Casemiro, Rashford, Tom Heaton. I mean, he's come kind of like the end of his career, but yeah, I mean, for a former Man United player, I think under Mourinho, Man United goalkeeper under Mourinho coached Huddersfield today, and Man City beat them 2-0. So yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section as we build to the next one. We've talked about the reports. Casemiro and Sancho going will free up funds for us to sign Carlos Baleba. So speaking further on the Carlos Baleba situation, yeah, so furthermore, let's move on. If I see that news, I'll break it down for you. The next one is Injury news. So we'll talk about injuries. Lisandro Martínez is still recovering from his ACL injury, and his return is estimated to be later in October. There were videos online showing him, pictures online showing him training physically and doing all the things necessary as he prepares for his return. Ruben Amorim recently said in a press conference that he is happy that the guy is back. He's happy that, he's working his way back into, the first team situation at the club. So we will observe and we will see. Amorim says we miss his aggressiveness. We miss, things around, him coming back to the club and all that and everything in between. So we're going to observe that, and we're going to let you know as things unfold. Next one is Diogo Dalot is back in contention for the upcoming match against Brentford after returning from injury. We'll observe that as well. What do you guys think about Diogo Dalot? Do you think that he can make it into the squad? Do you think that he can come back and start? Nusra Majraoui is doing a good job. I've released a video recently, a few hours ago, about Nusra Majraoui. He's doing a good job coming in and doing things, involved in the 2 goals we scored against Chelsea. Was subbed off at the 70th minute. The previous game was subbed off at the 70th minute as well. So he's back. He's played 2 games, and it seems like Majraoui coming back to the squad has increased our depth in the squad. And even when he was subbed off against Chelsea, Ahmad moved to that position, so there's still like some depth and stuff. But Ahmad's position is now called into question, seeing as Matheus Cunha is back, and there's most likely going to be the chance that Cunha and Boom are going to play in that Brentford game. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section about this Diogo Dalot one. Do you think that he's going to come back and make it into the squad? If he doesn't, then we can move on to the next one, obviously. But drop it in the comment section and let me know your thoughts and feelings. Also, with regards to team performance and manager pressure, Ruben Amorim is facing pressure following the slow start to the season, but the pressure was alleviated a little bit in the weekend when Manchester United beat Chelsea 2-1, albeit in a very tough game that we made tough for ourselves. But obviously, it seems that he's still under pressure and the media cannot give him a break. So, but we're going to United secured a 2-1 victory at Chelsea in a chaotic match where both teams were reduced to 10 men, but Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro scored for United, while Casemiro was sent off before halftime. And Amorim came out in the press conference and said that we made things difficult for ourselves, that we should have just killed the game. But obviously, things happened and we have to kind of move on. So let's just hope that things will pan out really well for Manchester United in the future game. And then, speaking of Bruno Fernandes, he scored his 100th goal for the club against Chelsea. Against Chelsea, according to the BBC. Basically, he was presented with a commemorative plaque or picture or something at Carrington today by Jason Wilcox with regards to him performing on the day. So he was presented with that, and yeah, he seemed to be doing well and all of that. Bruno has been a bone of contention. Like, he has been how can I say this? Bruno has divided the fans. That's what I can say with this. Bruno has divided the fans and all of that. If we can talk about the Manchester United versus Chelsea game, Manchester United defeated Chelsea at Old Trafford, and that was like 4 days ago, in Premier League match against in a heavy rainfall that led to us having 2 red cards. Chelsea's Robert Sanchez was sent off early, denying a goal scoring opportunity, allowing Bruno Fernandes to score his 100th United goal from the penalty spot. From the penalty spot? From the penalty spot, like from the cross. Yeah, this is some weird. Don't make me think I'm losing my mind. On his 200th league appearance for Manchester United, and followed by Casemiro's header before his own dismissal. He got a yellow card between his goal and the second yellow card. The win provides a relief for Ruben Amorim, marking United's first league victory since the international break. Like, the international break was far. It was 2 games ago. Immediately after the international break, we faced Man City, right? So it's it's an interesting thing to see. But speaking of that, in other news, Manchester United under 21s beat Athletic Club at Old Trafford in the Premier League International Cup 2-1. This is just coming in 1 hour ago. Gabriel Biancheri his last gasp finish completed the comeback. Comeback again. Athletic against Athletic Club for the Man United Academy under-21s, who beat the Athletic Club at Old Trafford in the Premier League International Cup. That is good for Manchester United, amongst other things. And like I said, Bruno was presented with a picture showcasing his 100 goals that he has scored for Manchester United, and I'll provide you an astounding stat to that feat that Bruno has achieved, and that is the fact that Bruno is number 4 of historical midfielders who have scored 100 goals or more. I remember there's Ryan Giggs on that list, and I remember Paul Scholes on that list, and Bruno is there, and then the one is an older player who his name cannot cross my mind right now. But yeah, he was presented with 100 goals for his remarkable achievement. And then another one we're going to be talking about is, I'm seeing this rumor, but I don't know. This is according to Transfer News Live, and he says the source is National World. It's a rumor. It's a transfer rumor. We talked about Sancho earlier in this stream. Aston Villa are already planning to sign Jadon Sancho next summer when his loan from Manchester United comes to an end. I don't believe it one bit. He hasn't even done anything. I'm just watching the goal that Biancheri scored. It was a last-minute goal. He scored against it at the Stretford end. Gabriel Biancheri is one player that I have watched and I think I like. He's very versatile. He can play in the 10, can play as a striker. He's one of those Xerxes style type of striker, but he is so good and he's maturing, and I like the fact that he is building momentum and all of that. So yeah, it is amazing to see. It's amazing to see. Now, United currently sit in 11th place in the Premier League after 5 games. And we just got a reality check, obviously, that, Man United are sitting 11th after 5 games, but 1 point above City, I think. Okay, let's look at the table so we don't feed you with so Man United are sitting 11th on the table, 1 point behind, same point with City, literally. Well, just on negative 2 goal difference, 1 point behind Chelsea, and 3 points from the top 4. 3 points from the top 4. That is super amazing. Tottenham Hotspur 10 points, Bournemouth at 10 points, Arsenal at 10 points, and then Liverpool at 15 points, and then we are 3 points from the top 4. That is amazing, but it is what it is. We're under pressure a lot, and anything Manchester United has to do with Manchester United has to do with pressure. Another thing we have to think about is Man United have played 5 games, won 2, lost 2, drawn 1, and yeah, we're 11th on the table, and we will climb up. One more win, and then it's a new story altogether, right? Depending on how Arsenal, who play against Newcastle, and Liverpool, and Tottenham, who play against Wolves, and Bournemouth, who play against Leeds, how they do. Crystal Palace play against Liverpool. So we shall see how things pan out in all of that. So moving on to other things, there's a news report that Kobbie Mainoo is working hard at Carrington and doing everything he can to impress Ruben Amorim. The 20-year-old worked with a private coach during the international break and has even changed his private chef at home in an attempt to improve his game. So it looks like an amazing news to hear, from Kobbie Mainoo, because he seems to be dividing opinions again, on Man United and all of that. In other news, this is another transfer news. Manchester United eyed a move for Conor Gallagher in the summer, and he may be looking to leave Atletico Madrid following difficulties in cementing a place in the side. Atletico see Gallagher as an important player and could be available if a bid in the region of 60 million, that's 52 million pounds, is tabled. Crystal Palace and Tottenham Hotspurs are also named. So I know why this news is coming, and it's coming because basically Man United were interested in the summer. Like I said, speaking of the Bruno news, Man United gave Bruno Fernandes a special print to celebrate 100 goals he scored at the club. It shows an image of him from each game he scored in. The media team are amazing. Bruno, obviously, this is what Bruno said about that when he was presented with that. He said, obviously, thanks to everyone from day one, all the assists, all the goals, all the penalties that you guys gave me the chance to score. I'm very happy and proud to achieve this big number, 100 goals for Manchester United. It wasn't something I was dreaming about when I grew up to become a footballer, but obviously it's a privilege for me, and I hope that together with this we can put a lot of trophies in the cabinet. So the only thing that we have denied Bruno is trophies, surely the entire team. This same Bruno has played with Pogba, you know, if you remember correctly, and all that. But I'm happy for him. He's achieved that. He's not a problem. It's not a problem for all those Man United fans that keep saying Bruno is a problem at the club. So yeah, that is that about that. With regards to upcoming fixtures, before we go on to talk about the manager that wants Man United, the Man United job, Manchester United will face Brentford away on Saturday on the 27th of September. So this weekend we'll do a match preview tomorrow, talking about the game and everything, so look out for that. And then we'll also do, you know, the presser review on Friday, but we'll have other, I think we'll still come up with the Man United news tomorrow as well. And then obviously the under 21s played Athletic Bilbao, as I brought you earlier, and at Old Trafford, and they beat them at the Premier League International Cup. Then United are working to expand the safe standing capacity by 6,000. This is something that most Man United fans were excited about. They were happy to see that Man United were trying to expand the standing. So that takes Old Trafford to almost 80,000. If that's standing capacity, if the safe standing capacity is expanded. But that is, yeah, whatever the case, man, we're really expecting. But the news came out today, and that's why we had to bring you the news. The next one is that Manchester United are ready to lead the way next summer. That was the Baleba one I told you I was looking for. According to Mike McGrath, Manchester United are ready to lead the way next summer in a race for holding midfielders, with the position expected to dominate the transfer market. Carlos Baleba, Adam Wharton, and Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson I like a lot. I've watched him, like you can tell from the eye test that the guy, you know, he does that. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to us signing two. One in Elliot Anderson and most probably Carlos Baleba or Adam Wharton. But Elliot Anderson is giving you that box-to-box midfielder, you know, all over the place midfielder, you know, control of the things midfielder vibes and all of that. So Carlos Baleba, Adam Wharton, and Elliot Anderson would be, I mean, I like Elliot Anderson. I've seen him play for Nottingham Forest, and I like him. I hope we get him on a good deal. And then Adam Wharton and Carlos Baleba, we can talk about it if we get. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to getting the three, because obviously there's a chance that Bruno leaves next summer. There's also a chance that Casemiro leaves as well next summer. So that's 2 spots left. And then obviously we let what's his name, Toby Collier go in the summer to West Bromwich Albion on loan. So him coming back will add to the numbers, but also we are lacking midfielders. So I wouldn't be opposed to getting the 3, but I doubt that Man United will get the 3. Yeah, that's pretty much it. According to, furthermore, Mike McGrath, they are Elliot Anderson and Carlos Baleba and Adam Wharton are among the deep line midfielders expected to be in high demand. And are among deep line in high demand from major European clubs, with Baleba valued at around 100 million. And I don't think at this rate Manchester United will be able to go for 100 million for Baleba right now. His value might drop as well, but we shall see. We shall see. According to The Sun, and this is posted by Transfer Live on X, Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim believes that the team needs an upgrade in goal despite signing Seno Lammens and a new goalkeeper will be priority in January transfer window. I don't believe that. We can't just have signed basically St. Laments and then we need a new goalkeeper. I heard yesterday that we are interested in Mike Mannion, but we shall see. I mean, it is what it is. And then we're back to the manager who wants or is interested in Manchester United job. That is according to Sports Witness. Eintracht Frankfurt's manager Dino Torpey on his future. He says, thinking about abroad, I often played computer games as a child, always with one team, MUFC. And that is why this is in news. That would definitely be nice someday because it's an extraordinary club. When I was a teenager, Manchester United was, along with Real Madrid, the biggest club of all. I saw a news sometime earlier today when TalkSport were saying something about the biggest club, and Ali McCoist was asked about the biggest club in Manchester in the world, and he talked about Manchester United and Real Madrid leading, because they were asked about if Chelsea can be linked or tagged as one of the biggest club in the world, and then he said that Man United and Real Madrid are at the top, yeah. So this is according to the Sun and the Mirror. He says Bundesliga manager 44 wants to become Man United boss as pressure mounts on Ruben Amorim. So they're just peddling. He might have made a comment, but they're peddling, and these are just exposing some of the things that he might have said. Dino Torpey has impressed in his spell with Bundesliga club. They qualified for this season Champions League and won their opening game of the league stage 5-1 against Galatasaray, and he has now admitted that he would like to manage United amid growing pressure on Ruben Amorim. He told Bild, thinking about abroad, as I just said to you now, I often played computer games as a child, always with one team, Manchester United. That would definitely be nice someday because it is an extraordinary club. Then when I was a teenager, Manchester United I was along with Real Madrid, the biggest club of all. Torpey has already rejected one offer from elsewhere, a $6 million a year contract from Saudi Arabia. From Saudi Arabian club Al Ittihad. Meanwhile, Amorim relieved a little pressure on his job following a 2-1 win at Chelsea, over Chelsea at the weekend, and it came after a week of mounting pressure on the Portuguese to change the system. Amorim is steadfast in his belief in his 3-4-3 formation and boldly exclaimed United would have to change the manager if they wanted to change the system. Asked if Old Trafford's hierarchy suggests that he should reconsider his tactics. He said, no. Not even the Pope will change it. So basically, like I said, it's no news. It is no news. But we just had to bring it to you just to let you know how things are peddled. There's rumors and all of that. Rumors. But that is it. Torpey wants Man United job. Yeah, we can always talk about it. We can always bring it to you, as said. Another stat just for you, basically, is that Bryan Mbeumo is one of the three players to have played both Brentford. One of just three players who have played both for Brentford and Manchester United ahead of 22nd meeting this weekend. And then Manchester United have been the least efficient finishers across Europe's top 5 league this season, unfortunately. According to Statman Dave, Man United have underperformed their expected goals by 5.7, the most of any of the 96 teams across the top 5 leagues. So pretty much. And then another news I heard is that Di Marco, Inter Milan left back, is a target for Manchester United, and Amorim is very keen on him. I like the guy, but I don't like he doesn't have pace. He really doesn't have pace, and I don't think we should be going for him. But it is what it is. Napolista is quoting that, and he says, I tweeted about DeMarco yesterday. This is the level of a player we need to start signing in our wing back position. DeMarco is 24. He's not as fast, bro. Like, let's not talk about, he's not as fast. I'm seeing some video highlights of the 17-year-old midfielder that Man United could be interested in when he turns 18 next year. Christian Orozco, he will be joining Man United when he turns 18, according to South American reports. We shall see. We'll keep building. Man United are keeping tabs on Mike Mignan ahead of a potential free transfer in 2026. We shall see. We'll keep because there's also a chance. So I see the Mike Mignan thing making sense, because there's also a chance that Alta Binder might leave. But we also have Redek Vitek. I don't like this news. It makes me feel really, so it is what it is. With Nuz Majraoui, Amad Diallo, Diogo Dalot, Patrick Dogo nearing full fitness, which of the fullbacks will you guys go for? That's my question to you all. And which of the fullbacks will you go for? For me, I know Patrick Dogo has been poor in his crossing. I would go for Patrick Dogo first in left wing back, but he should be able to try to do something to create chances for people, because we have the lowest XG conversion rate, and the highest XG when it comes to expected goals, but we're underperforming our XG a whole lot. Also on the right, I would say Nuz Majraoui, but if we're looking for, because I think Ruben Amorim has also found another way to play his back three in Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, and Matthijs de Ligt. So Majraoui moves to wing back. So, and then the other ones can come in as subs. Ahmad is also good. So, but if Majraoui is not fully fit, might as well just go with Ahmad. So that's pretty much what I have for you today. I might be able to give you more news. Okay, speaking of football finance, I'm going to read this one I'm seeing according to Footy Insider via Manchester Evening News. And that's the last one I'm going to have for today. It's basically that football finance expert Stefan Borson on MUFC missing out on European football. The other big takeaway from the numbers is that last season's United had 11 total additional home games outside the Premier League, 4 domestic and 7 European League games. Now we know that the Europa League home games generated around £13 million, because if you go into the notes in the account, you can see what United do. And although some of the numbers don't seem to reconcile historically, so there must be something that isn't clear. Yeah, it has been reported, just let it go. But if you go into the accounts, it gives you a breakdown of what broadcast plus match day plus for UEFA looks like, and it is 43 million. We know that approximately 30 million turned out to be UEFA broadcast, so that leaves 13 million from match day, which is a bit less than people sort of forecast for the 7 games. People talk about 3 to 5 million per game for Manchester United at home, but by the time you have all the payaways of various people, it turns out to be a bit less than that. They obviously will have none of that 13 million pounds. That is pretty much what he said, but it is what it is. Now, another question that has been on the mind of, before we wrap this up, on the mind of Manchester United fans, which I want you guys to put in the comment section, is: are we ever going to see the best of Lisandro Martínez? That's the question. Are we ever going to see the best of Lisandro Martínez? He's back in training. I told you guys he's back in training and all that, back on the field. But let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section as we build towards the season. Tomorrow we'll come again with another, news update and all of that, as well as the match preview for the game against Brentford. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Here. Hit it. So if you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.